sight set, no brakes, only snatch, line color scale shining, no looking back. From the huts to the top, under heat left flow. Every set of rebirth, forward is the show. Backpacks, some walls and stacks. Always pushing forward, never retrace tracks. Axes, kings, no room to left. The serpentine path never stays in the past.
What's going on, all you beautiful dreamers out there in TV land? Welcome to Sky's the Limit podcast. Tonight we have our guest on. I know he canceled last week. He had a call, he had to go on. You know, you can't blame the man for that. So we rescheduled it for tonight. So hopefully you all are tuning in because this is going to be a really awesome podcast tonight. And make sure you stay to the end because I worked out the details for the $1,000 giveaway that we're going to be doing in January and February. So you don't want to miss that one. So let's go ahead and see who's all here right now. Mike Duvall, what's going on? Welcome everyone. Hit that like and share, and make sure you subscribe to the channel. Make sure you do that. Let's see, we got Shauna Kana. Good evening. Shout out to Shauna. She is an awesome person. If you don't know who Shauna is, make sure you go follow her on Instagram. Shauna, truly, it is a pleasure being a friend of yours. Then we have, let's see, Mike again. What's up, brother? Not too much. We got John from Mad River Serpents. What's going on, John? How you doing tonight? All right, that looks like who's all here right now. As they pop in, we'll pop your name up there. So without further ado, we're going to go ahead bring in our guest, Chad Johnson from Heroic Serpent Sales. Hey,
Hey, how's
Chad,
it
how
going?
you doing?
I'm doing well, doing well. How are you tonight,
All right,
Brian?
doing pretty good. Thanks for coming on. I know last week you had a call to go on to and that. So how'd that go?
It wasn't bad. It was a structure fire. Um,
Okay,
we had a garage fire that happened in Monroe here, and um, got it under control pretty quick. But it was quite a bit of loss though to the people that owned the garage. So um,
right.
yeah, but thank goodness we got it under control quick though.
Right, because yeah, now how close to the house was the garage?
Oh, it was maybe 6 to 8 feet, maybe
Oh,
10 at the
okay,
most.
so
Yeah.
easily right over to the house.
Oh yeah. If it would have gotten way out of control, it would have the house would have definitely caught fire.
Okay, all right, wow, wow. Well, thanks for your service, and I'm sure the people that own the house and that's really thankful.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
So,
Absolutely.
all right, so let's go ahead and get into this. So what's with the name?
So, Heroic Serpent Sales. So, you know, my fiance and I, we were tossing around some ideas, and you know, um, I joke with her all the time about, how do you feel or how do you like being, engaged to such a hero, and
Right,
I like to joke with her about it, because, in my eyes, she's a hero to me because um, she's been a registered nurse for 20
okay,
plus years. Um, and she's worked in ER as a trauma nurse. She's been she's worn many different hats over the years of her career and, saved many, many lives. And to me, she's a hero. So,
right,
um,
right.
you
Yeah,
know,
yeah, definitely.
we just decided on that name. We're still working on a logo. We
Okay,
think we've got one. We just got to kind of digitize it now.
okay,
We had a friend of ours draw it up for us. And he was at one time a firefighter as well on the same department that I'm a part of. Um,
okay.
So, we know him pretty well. And he's drew up a design for us. Now we just gotta get it to somebody to get it, digitized in a way,
Right on. Right on. Now do you have any ideas on who you would, send it off to get it digitized?
Um, we've looked at a couple different options. We're just trying to figure out which one's best for us right now.
Alright, alright. Now,
So,
how did you get into the fire service?
so that's kind of a funny story as well. So I served 8 years in the Navy. Um,
Okay. Well,
I
thank you for your service.
Yep, absolutely. I I learned a lot about firefighting in the Navy. When sailors are out on a ship, they don't have a fire department that they can call to come
Right,
out to the middle of the ocean and put out a fire, right?
right.
So they have to know what to do. So there's a lot of lessons in firefighting in the Navy.
Okay.
So that's where I kind of got a little bit. I got my feet wet there, right? Um, no pun intended. Um, so anyway, then I met my fiance, Rhonda. I met her when we were in seventh grade
Oh,
in high
wow.
school.
And
Um,
how old are you now?
I'm 44 years old now, and she is
Oh,
43.
okay, so
So,
you guys you've known each other for quite a while, what, about 30 something years?
oh, more, yeah, roughly, because we just had our 25-year high school reunion just recently. So,
Wow.
um, yeah, we've been out of high school for quite a while.
Yeah,
So anyway, um, after high school, she started working with my mom at the
okay.
hospital. My mom's an RN as well. She started working with my mom, and Rhonda and I started talking again. Right. Well,
Right.
um, we had a little thing going on, probably, I don't know, 15 years ago or so, something like that. I don't count the years, but anyway, we had a little bit of, a little thing going on about 15 years ago. It didn't really work out. We went separate ways. And then 7 years ago, we came back together, and she was getting out of a situation that she was in, and I was getting out of a situation I was in. And I asked her out, and it worked
Okay.
out. Well, after meeting her dad was a firefighter, actually a lieutenant on the department that I'm on now. And he got to talking to me, and she was an advisor for our cadet program at the department I'm with. And she took me to a few of the cadet meetings, and I got to know some of the firefighters
Right, right.
and got to talking to them, and they asked me to, fill out an application, and that's pretty much the history of it right there. So yeah.
Said, "Hey, yeah, well, guess what? Tomorrow you're gonna be working on the crew."
Yeah, exactly. Pretty much, I mean, went through
Well,
the testing, agility test, all that. And I was 39 years old when I became a firefighter.
wow,
So
wow.
um, for anybody that's looking, real quick, I just want to add that, for anybody that is looking to serve your community, um, you can go and be a volunteer firefighter. Um,
Okay,
the fire service is very, very, very extremely unmanned, um, and there are fire departments all over the United States that are looking for members all the time. And the
okay,
majority of those departments will put you through all the training, get you all the certifications, and a lot of them now are what's called paid on call. So
right,
for
right.
every call you run, you get paid for. So I mean, if you're looking to help your community, that is a
R
really good way to do it.
Now where would people go down to, volunteer for this?
A lot of the fire departments, you can literally just walk into their fire station during normal business hours, Monday through Friday, and just say, "Hey, I'm interested in becoming a firefighter. How do I do that?" And the majority of them out there will just hand you an application or take you for a tour of the fire station and talk to you and go from there.
Awesome. So you hear that, guys? If you guys want to really contribute to your community, there's a really good way right there. Become a volunteer firefighter, guys. Um, so how long have you been doing this? You said about what, 14 years?
No, firefighting I've been doing for about 5. 5
About
years
five.
I've do been a firefighter. I've obtained my Fire 1 and 2 certification, hazmat operations, my medical first responder, and I'm also now certified in the state of Michigan to be an instructor, so I can
Oh,
instruct now as well.
nice, nice. Wow.
Yep.
Congratulations on that, man.
Thank you. Thank you.
Eh, So, what is one of like the craziest calls that you've ever been on?
So, a lot of the calls, a lot of the calls we really can't talk about because of HIPAA when it comes to
Right, right,
medical.
right, right.
But I can say probably one of the craziest calls that I can talk about would be a structure fire that we were on. And me and another firefighter were working some pets that were unconscious, not breathing.
Right.
Um, and we were working on these pets, CPR, and all of a sudden people just started rushing toward the structure and trying to run inside the structure while we had other guys inside trying to put the fire out. And we had to kind of tackle these people and stop them from running inside. They were running inside because they were trying to get the other pets out. So
Wow. Yeah,
um, it
yeah.
was very it was very chaotic, and we had to get police involved.
Right.
Um, so it was a very very chaotic scene.
Yeah, I mean, like you're trying to save these pets already, trying to put out a fire. I mean, you guys can't go and do crowd control too, you know.
Exactly,
You
exactly.
know.
It was challenging. So
Yeah. Wow, wow, that is pretty crazy. Like, why would you guys? Don't get me wrong. I mean, I'm good if my house broke in, and that's one of our biggest fears as breeders. Is
yeah,
the house fire, and that what. And I'm gonna try to save as many animals as I can. I'm gonna be shoving them in my shirt and, putting them in pillowcases and everything.
yeah,
Heck, throw them all in a pillowcase. I might come out with some crazy clutches, you know?
right, right, absolutely.
But I'm gonna try to save as many as I can, but once I'm out of the house, I'm not trying to run back in, I mean, my
Yeah,
life is more important than those animals. I mean, they're important animals in that, their life
yeah,
matters as well, but, my safety
yeah,
does have to come first.
absolutely,
So,
absolutely.
wow, that's nuts that they just try to go running back in, especially while you guys are there trying to put out the fire.
Yeah, it was like I said, it was very chaotic. A lot, a lot of, a lot of people, and it was a lot to handle all at the same time.
Right, right, right. Well, wow, wow. So, then with that, um, how would you guys go about making that kind of call? Like, this is something that we will have to involve the police department and stuff like
So,
that.
so typically, most of the time on a fire scene, um, dispatch will always dispatch the fire department,
Right.
EMS, and
Okay.
police.
Okay.
Police, typically their job on a fire scene like that is to handle traffic control, right?
Oh,
They're the ones that are going to take down the roads and help us keep help us by keeping vehicles from driving through our scene while we got guys moving around, hoses
right.
laid out. we can't have drivers,
Driving over
vehicles driving over hoses, right?
right, or,
Um,
driving your guys pop out from the back of the vehicle, now they just got hit because the driver wasn't paying attention. Yeah, I get it.
absolutely, absolutely. Those hoses, they're laying all over the road and everything. The water flowing through those hoses are the guys that are inside. That's their lifeline.
Right,
That's what's going to save their life from, getting burned up.
right,
So if a car drives over one of them hoses and that hose bursts, well,
r
it can mean life or death.
right.
So usually the police are always on scene, and we
Okay,
did have police on scene that time. However, they were down the road trying to block off the roads.
right,
So we were able to get on the radio and have the police come like closer to the scene, and they
right.
were able to get an officer there to help get these people away from the structure.
Alright. Yeah, because that's kinda crazy, like, that just blows my mind that they're trying to go back into that dang structure as it's on fire, like,
Yeah.
man. So, now how long has your, wife been doing the, nurse? She's a registered nurse right now, you said?
Yeah, she's been a registered nurse for a little over 20 years.
Okay,
And she loves it. She loves her patients. She takes patient privacy um,
right,
to an extreme level. Like she treats her patients as though they're part of her family, like it's her own
r
mom and dad.
right. That's
Um,
awesome, that's
so
awesome.
yeah, she loves what she does. Currently, she's in an administrative role,
Okay.
so she oversees an entire hospital.
Oh,
Um,
wow.
so she stays pretty busy.
Right,
Um,
and, she at work right, tonight?
yeah, she is at work right now. Unfortunately, she wasn't able to get on
Yeah,
the
okay.
podcast with us, but
Well, we're gonna have to reschedule a day then where she can get on the podcast. That way we can talk to her about how it's to run a whole hospital like that, because
yeah,
that got to be a little hectic in itself.
oh yeah, she runs into some situations. Yeah,
Well, I'm sure, and I know she can't talk about a lot of the stuff, as
yeah,
for like you said, patient's confidentiality type stuff and everything.
yep,
But you know, that'll still be pretty awesome just to see some of the inner workings of how that does go down.
yeah,
So
absolutely.
besides that now, Chad, how long have you been into the reptiles?
So we that's kind of funny story too. So our youngest son, he's 11 years old, and he had been talking for the past, I don't know, a couple of years now about wanting a snake, right?
Okay.
And she was just totally 100% against it. Like she was like, no, we're not having any reptiles and this and that. And um, her mentality was is that with a reptile, you have to have a heat lamp, right?
Right,
And
right,
um, growing up with a firefighter household, she was always terrified that those heat lamps is going to cause a fire. So
right.
um, so her mentality was owning a reptile is going to require having a heat lamp. So she decided that wasn't going to be an option. He wasn't going to get a snake. Not
Okay.
not a chance. Well, I kept talking to her about it, kept talking to her about it because when I was a kid, I had snakes. I remember one snake I had was a red-tailed boa, and
Awesome. Okay.
then
Awesome.
um, my second snake I had was a ball python.
All
Um,
right.
however, when I had that ball python, I got it home and I took it out of the snake bag, and my sister tried holding it, and it snapped at her.
Mm,
Well,
oh,
my mom made me get rid of it.
Oh,
She wouldn't give me the option. So I got rid of it, and after that, I didn't have snakes after that. My red-tailed boa ended up contracting mites,
oh,
and being a being a novice snake handler,
right, right.
I didn't know what to do,
Oh,
and we took it to a vet, and the vet told us. I remember the name of the product they gave us, or they told us to get, was a product called Mite Off, and they told us just go ahead and take that and spray it on the snake, and then it should kill the mites, and
yeah,
just change out its bedding and clean the enclosure really well,
right,
and it
right.
should be fine. Well,
Okay.
we did exactly what the vet told us to do, and the snake ended up like, I don't know if it was allergic to this mite off or what, but it ended up getting like the its mouth started like foam, like salivating really bad, and
Mhm.
just it was suffering horrible
Right,
from
right.
it. Um and the snake ended up dying,
Oh, wow.
unfortunately. But
Right,
basically, fast forward, years and years and years later, and I was talking to her about this, getting a snake,
right.
because I would like one again too. And so finally, a friend of ours from the fire department, he
Okay.
has a Mexican black king snake,
Right.
and he was talking to her about it as well.
Oh,
And he talked her into going to the Taylor Reptile Show,
okay.
and we went, and she told us right before we even walked in. Her comment was, "Don't even get any ideas. We're not getting a snake. It ain't happening." Right? So I'm like, "That's fine. That's fine. We're just here to check them out and
Right.
maybe hold some or whatever." So we walk up to a table. A lot of guys probably know who he is, Jody Warona.
Okay,
Um,
yep.
we walked up to his table, and I asked him, I said, "Do you guys have a Brazilian rainbow boa?" And he said, "We just sold our last one, but I have a Colombian rainbow boa if you want to see
Okay.
her." So Rhonda was like, "Yeah, let's look at her." So um, he got her out and handed them over to her, and it was all over after that.
She
She fell in
smell
she fell in love with this snake, and she's like, "Okay, I know I told you, absolutely not, but can we take him home?" So I was like,
but yet
"Yeah, that's
she but yet she's the one that went in that saying that you can't buy nothing. You can't bring
yeah,
no snake home.
yeah, yeah, absolutely." So we ended up taking it home, and then it was months later. So that was this past February.
Right, right,
Months later in June, we went to a show down in Toledo,
right.
and that's where we met you. And
Yep, yep.
we purchased three snakes that day. We purchased Cupid, your
Yep, yep.
the little guy you had, and then we got Gizmo, um, what we named Gizmo,
Right,
and then we ended up we were teetering on the piebald you had there, and
right.
ended up
Legacy.
contacting you that evening and saying, "Yeah, we do want that piebald as well," and that was Legacy.
Yep,
So,
yep.
um, which that that guy, he gave us all kinds of problems for the first 2.5 months we had him, because he wouldn't eat. And
Is he, now eating right? Yeah, because I know you said he ate last, week. Now did he eat this week as well?
no, he did not eat this week. So yeah,
Oh, well, that
yeah,
thing.
yeah.
Uh,
That he's a hard headed little guy. So But
Oh,
but after that, since June, we went from one snake in June, and we now have 28 total.
wow.
So
Wow.
we've kind of exploded in the amount of snakes we have.
Yeah,
Um,
yes, you
but
did.
we take care of every single one of them.
Partial.
They love their enclosures and or tubs because we got the ARS rack system behind me, and
Right.
then to the right of myself, we have the reptile basics racks.
All
So
right. All right. Now, going because you started out with the enclosures and then going to the racking systems. Now, since you've used both, and that, what would you say you prefer better, the racking systems or an enclosure?
definitely the racking systems. It saves a ton of space.
Right.
Plus, on top of that, it just seems like the snakes are happier. They're
Okay.
they're much they feel much more safe in the racks than they
Right.
do
Right.
the enclosures.
Yes.
Um, don't get me wrong, we still have a couple enclosures.
Right.
We have our original Colombian rainbow boa. She's in enclosure. She's in an enclosure still, um,
Okay.
but that's where she's comfortable.
Right.
Um, and then we also have a Honduran milk snake, um, and we have that one in an enclosure as well. And that one loves being in the enclosure as well.
Okay.
So those are the two that we have enclosures because they're more pets than we're planning on trying to breed.
Right.
Um,
Right. Right.
and um, they thrive in those enclosures. So
Okay. Right. Well, if they're thriving, there's no point of changing it up or anything like that. And
no,
like you said, if they're comfortable and if that's what they like, then let's leave them there. So
absolutely.
so now since you started and till now, how much would you say that you've put into the hobby?
Oh gosh. Um, Between all the racks and the cost of the snakes
Yep. Yep.
and feeding, I I'd venture to. This is one of the things that Rhonda's been actually keeping track of. I wish she was here right now. I would venture to bet probably ballpark range of around $6,000 or $7,000.
Okay, that ain't bad at all. Is actually not that bad at all. Now you plan on, just keeping this as a hobby, or do you plan on eventually growing into a business, or
So our goal right now is just to focus on um, learning how to breed, right?
okay,
Um, our goal is to pretty much allow the process to fund itself.
right,
Yes,
right,
we want to get out there in the shows and we want to learn how to start selling the snakes and stuff like that. But our mentality is if we're having fun doing it, that's what
right.
matters.
Yep, yep,
Um,
exactly.
we're not doing this to try and replace our full-time jobs or trying to get rich or anything like that.
Nice, yeah,
That's not our goal at all. We just want to have fun with what we're doing, and we the other thing that we really enjoy about doing this is inviting people over that
right,
don't know a whole lot about snakes, especially when it comes to kids, and
okay,
allowing them to hold the snakes and learning about them and you know teaching people that snakes are not they're not aggressive. They're
right, right,
Snakes are not aggressive. Snakes are defensive,
exactly,
and there's you don't have to be afraid of snakes. They are not there to try and eat you and all of that.
Right.
That's not what they do, right? A lot of people are so afraid of them, but yet they don't understand them. So
Right. Right.
doing
Right.
the whole education part is probably one of our goals as well.
All right. All right. Now, Mike got a question for you. You got any certain projects or morphs that you're working with?
So we right now we're working on some piebalds,
Okay.
and the other one is clowns. We have found that we like the clown morph quite a bit.
Okay. Yep.
Um, and the other one that we're talking about doing is trying to make some blue-eyed Lucies.
Okay. Yeah, those are
We
beautiful.
Yeah, we have a Mojave female, and then we
Nice.
also have a lesser male. Um, so we're talking about trying to make some blue-eyed Lucies. Down the road, my fiance Rhonda, she wants to look at trying to do some work with the Xanthics as well.
Okay. Okay. Do you have any certain line of Xanthic that you guys got in mind, or is it
I
just
I think
which?
she's still kind of researching that, but I think she wants to go with the VPIs.
Okay, that's was actually the line that I'm working myself. I don't do like the VPI Xanthics. Add the hypo to it to make the true ghost, and that
Yep,
myself, I'm trying to make the VPI. It will be a VPI hypo G stripe clown, and that added some pastel into it to help lighten and blush out some of the blacks. I think that
nice.
look amazing. Um,
Right.
but talking about going back to what you were saying about the educational part of it, and that that actually just reminded me of something that happened to me earlier today at a venue because we were just expoing or at an expo earlier today out there in Springfield. We had a couple walk up to me and they're looking at the snakes on the table, and the one lady, she's, "Oh, I don't wanna touch it. I don't wanna hold it. I don't want nothing to do with it." The boyfriend, holding the snake and that, and I asked the lady, I was like, "Well, why don't you wanna touch it? Why don't you wanna hold it?" "Well, they scare me." "Well, what is it that scares you about them?" "Well, I think they're gonna eat me or they're gonna bite me or anything." So I took out one of my babies, and then I showed her, I was like, "Look, I'm gonna show you how bad one of these bites are from this." And I did this number in front of the baby, and it took a little while, Chad, because my babies, they're not very feisty, but so
Right.
it took a little while of me intimidating it and everything before it started striking out at me, but I let it nail me a couple good times, and then I showed him like, "Look, nothing, it didn't hurt, there's no blood, there's no nothing, it's nothing to be afraid of." Started talking to him about it, educating them a little bit about it, like you're saying, showing them that, "Hey, this ain't something to be scared of, and this is how you keep them and everything. If you work with them and break them of that habit," like we were talking backstage about it, if you break them of that habit and that and show them like, "Hey, this ain't accepted behavior," like you said, and that they're like PETA or like Legacy is, and that big puppy dogs, and
Yep.
that, they ended up buying and walking away with one of the snakes.
Nice.
So,
Good deal.
and that's what I enjoy about this hobby, and that's why I wanted you on the podcast because we are kind of same mindset about this is, we're out here trying to educate and inspire people to come into this reptile community. We're trying to bring that younger generation into this community. It's not all about the money. If we can make a little bit of money on the side, that's a bonus, but if we can inspire somebody to say, "Hey, I wanna get into this hobby," I can inspire somebody to say, "Hey, this is something I might wanna think about even in the future," you know, I had a great day.
Absolutely.
So, now speaking of vending, have you guys thought about vending in the future, and what you would think about, like, how you would you vend?
So yeah, we have talked about it. I think we don't plan on doing any of the vending. Obviously, we don't even have a clutch yet,
Right,
so
right.
it's probably going to be closer to spring
Okay.
if we're going to be out there. Um, we definitely want to apply for an LLC prior to
Ro-
doing that. Um, that way we have that, whole tax ID credit or tax
Right,
ID
right.
number
EIN,
and all
all
that.
that.
Yep. We want to do it right. We don't want to just kind of get into this and just wing it.
Right,
I,
right.
f- I feel like the people that do that are the ones that fail, right?
Yes.
And we don't want to fail. We want to be successful at it. We want it to grow, and we want to make friends doing this.
Right,
I feel like we've already made some really great friends, and you and Holly.
right.
Um, I've met a few other people as well, and
I think
everybody.
introduced you to John from Mad River, who I
Yep,
don't know if he's still here or not, but he was here earlier. And
yep, I
that's
remember.
yep.
And I feel like everybody has been so helpful with advice. So we're just trying to make as many friends as we can, get to know people in the industry, um, and just soak in as much information as we can.
Awesome, awesome, and that's the best way to start. And you're actually in the right mindset, Chad. That's exactly the way to start out, and that's the way to have that mindset to realize, this ain't something like you said, ain't going to get rich off of, but you're going to have fun doing it. And you've made some nice friends. I consider me and you friends. And like you said, we've hung out quite a few times at the shows for,
Yeah.
I know my wife's like, you guys were talking for like 3 hours, right? Like,
Yep.
yeah, when you start hanging out with friends, but
Yeah, absolutely.
so that's real awesome. And that so you don't plan on doing any venuing yet or doing any expos yet. And that have you had any locks yet?
Yes, we did have a lock. It was trying to think of which one it was. It was our it was actually our um Mojave and our lesser. Um
Okay.
those two locked up, and
Nice.
we are hoping that it's successful. We're planning on putting them back together here real soon.
Okay.
We got them both to eat. Um, we got the male to eat tonight, and
Beautiful.
the female, she's been a great eater the whole time we've had her. So um, because he ate tonight, we'll probably pair them two back up, probably this coming week after he can digest a little bit.
Okay. Now is that the only pairing you're doing right now?
No, we actually paired up Legacy with another piebald that
Okay.
we have, and that that was not that didn't really work out well. Um,
No.
they did not want anything to do with each other. The female stayed to one side of the tub, and our male, he stayed over to the other side of the tub. And anytime he'd try and get next to her, she'd just keep
Get
jumping and trying to get away from him.
away from she might not be ready yet.
Yeah.
So yeah,
So
give
we
her,
kind of separated them.
right,
We
right.
do have another one named Striker that we got from you.
Yeah, right,
Um,
right.
we did pair up Legacy with Striker, um, and we did not see a lock on them two.
Okay.
We're hoping that they did. They were paired up for about 3 days.
Okay. Now
Um,
were they acting the same as the other pied girl, or
Oh
were
no,
they no?
no,
Okay,
they were
okay.
cuddling and they were getting all next to each other, and
So, yeah,
um,
they feel locked in, not even seeing it. Yep.
yeah, absolutely. So we'll see what
Okay,
happens there.
awesome, awesome. So, Mike wants to know, what platform do you use so he can add you to and, follow you?
So currently, um, we do not have a like a Heroic Serpent Sales page made up yet.
Okay,
But if you want to follow me, Chad Johnson, Chad with two D's on Facebook. Um, we do have a page that we kind of share our snakes with
okay,
everybody, like our friends, but it's not technically a company page.
alright,
But it's our quads two is the name of it. Um,
alright.
we kind of just share information that we have about the snakes to our family and friends on that
Eh,
page.
okay, and that's just Facebook?
Yeah, that's just Facebook right now.
Alright,
We are looking to make a TikTok page for
okay,
just kind of doing TikTok lives and
right, right,
stuff like that, to just kind of get our name out there and show off our snakes,
right, right, right.
answer questions people may have and things like that.
Now do you plan on, getting a Instagram or, a YouTube or anything?
So, um, yeah, I would love to do a YouTube.
I mean,
I'll
you
be
gotta earn it.
completely honest. I'm kind of stupid when it comes to Instagram.
Oh, okay.
Um, I don't. I really. I have a personal Instagram. I've had it
Right.
for years, and I still don't understand Instagram. I all I've seen is like people share pictures, but I don't know.
Yeah,
I'm not.
yeah, go ahead, go ahead.
I don't quite understand the Instagram platform, to be honest.
Alright.
Um, but maybe Rhonda will. I don't know. Um, quite
I
honestly, I feel like I'm old now that I said all that.
Well, I know it took me a while to, figure out Instagram at first, because I thought it was something like Facebook where I could just make a post and, and that, but quickly realized that on Instagram, to do any kind of post, you have to add either a picture or a video with the post,
Yeah,
and that. So, it did throw me off because I'm like, why can't I just put it I just wanna, say, "Hey, I'm gonna be out here at this expo." Why does it keep wanting me to do a live? Like,
right.
but, um, that's pretty awesome, so just the Facebook, if you wanna follow him, now besides that, Chad, I think the only question, left that I have for you tonight is, do you support Sky High Morphs in the 15 minutes of lame contest?
Absolutely. I'm waiting for the voting to start. And
Okay,
once that starts, you got my vote, brother.
awesome, awesome. All right, well, voting starts on December 1st to the 25th, and that so when the voting opens, I look forward to, seeing you vote for me. But I'm gonna go ahead and put you backstage, Chad. It was awesome having you on. If you wanna hang out for a second while, I wrap this up, let everybody know about the, how we're gonna do this, $1,000 contest and everything, and I'll get back with you after we, shut this down, alright?
All right. Thank you for having me.
Yep, thank you. Alright, that's 5 minutes. Alright, man, so Andy, pretty awesome dude, man. Guys, go make sure you go over there on his Facebook, check him out, and that he's gonna have some really awesome stuff coming out of his facility. He looks like he's, on the right track, going to be doing it right. He's gonna go far in this community, man. So go check him out. Um, so with our $1,000 giveaway, so how we're going to do this, guys, is starting December or January 1st to the end of February. Each one of our podcasts, I'm going to, on the banner down here, right down here, I'm going to put an entry word. Your job is to get that entry word and message me it on Instagram. All right. Now you have to be subscribed to my YouTube and you have to be following me on Instagram. But well, I'm going to put an entry word for each one of my podcasts. There'll be one entry word per podcast. So that'll be a total of 8 entry words. The person with the most entry words will be first place, second place, and third place, so on and so forth. If there is any ties between first, second, or third place, what we're going to do is we're going to do a spin for a tiebreaker. All right. So make sure you guys are following me. Make sure you guys are subscribed and hit that notification bell so you guys don't miss out on that entry word. So with that, guys, I am going to go ahead and play my little outro and make sure. Oh, also remember, guys, a portion of all of our ball python sales gets donated to the U.S. Ark. You know, we are a big supporter of the U.S. Ark. They're out there fighting for our reptile rights to keep these animals in our house.
Hi, I'm Adam Wickens with Wickens Reptiles.
Fully to the reptile community and reptile industry, you know, they resubmerged the ship, and you know, here we are still going.
This war has been going on. I can barely even handle my emotions that we've finally got this stupid law that was made for ridiculous reasons off the books.
There were some mistakes made on April 6th, and I hope we can learn from those to reverse the interstate ban on any transportation of species listed as curious on the fleecy.
All right, guys, I'm going to go ahead and wrap it up. Remember, guys, hard work, determination, and positivity. Your guys' dreams, too, can become a reality. And until next week, you guys have a great weekend.